Article 1275, Confusion or Merger. Article 1275, the obligation is extinguished from the time the characters of creditor and debtor are merged in the same person. Meaning of confusion or merger. Confusion or merger is the meeting in one person of the qualities of creditor and debtor with respect to the same obligation. Example, sa mga anime niyan, gawin natin letra-letra na. Yung unang anime, ayun, ACA. So, example, A owes 10,000 pesos kay B and nag-issued si A ng itong promissory note kay B na kung saan babayaran niya si B within 1 month and si B naman ay in-endorse niya itong promissory note ni A kay C. Tapos itong si C bumili ng mga goods sa tindahan naman ni A. Then dito wala siyang cash, wala siyang dalang cash. Kaya in-endorse niya naman yung itong promissory note na galing kay B. Kung saan ang obligation na ito na kay A ay siya ay magiging isang itong creditor at the same time ay ang debtor. Article 1276, merger which take place in the person of the principal debtor or creditor benefits the guarantor's. Confusion which takes place in the person of any of the latter does not extinguish the obligation. Halimbawa naman sa Article 1276, itong si A, itong si Goku, yung mga anime nito, si A owes 100,000 pesos kay B. Then itong si D, itong si Hawk ay yung itong guarantor. And si B ay tinransfer niya yung obligation kay C sa credit. Transfer niya kay C. And then itong si C itinransfer niya rin naman ulit kay A. So dito yung obligation yung obligation ay extinguished na. At itong si D ay na-release na sa kanyang obligation as a guarantor. Pero kapag naman same situation din, ganoon. Pero kapag naman itinransfer naman itong ni C kay guarantor, kay D. Ganito pala. Pero kapag naman itinransfer ni C kay D, ang dito, ang contract ng guarantee is wish. Pero hindi kasama ang itong principal obligation ni A, yung obligation ni A to pay B ng 100,000 pesos.
Good day, my fellow students, especially to our instructor, Ma'am Shalawin Umar. I'm Arvin J.C. Divilla, and I'm going to present from Articles 1277 to 1279. Start po tayo dito sa Article 1277. Confusion does not extinguish a joint obligation except as regards to the share corresponding to the creditor or debtor in whom the two characters concur. This provision talks about merger and joint obligation. Example, Luffy and Gon jointly owes Anya 10,000 pesos evidenced by a promissory note. Kung in-endorse ni Anya ang promissory note kay Layla, who in turn endorsed it again to Luffy, so yung share ni Luffy sa utang nila is extinguished na. Pero yung share ni Gon ay nandoon pa rin. Because as we all know that in joint obligation, debts are distinct and separate from each other. Hence, to Gon, there is no confusion or merger. So, Gon would still be liable for 5,000 pesos. Halimbawa naman kung solidary obligation, in this example pa rin, Luffy and Gon solidary liable to Anya 10,000 pesos, then the endorsement to Luffy extinguish the entire obligation kasi nga 'di ba kapag solidary, one for all for one. Pero syempre meron pa ring right si Luffy na singilin si Gon ng 5,000 pesos kasi nga lugi naman siya kung siya lang magbabayad ng 10,000, 'di ba? Kaya may right si Luffy na mag-demand ng reimbursement from Gon because may obligation din naman talaga itong si Gon as a solidary debtor to pay. Okay, natapos na natin ang Section 4, Confusion or Merger. Dito na tayo sa Section 5, Compensation from Articles 1278 to 1290. Start tayo sa Article 1278. Compensation shall take place when two persons in their own right are creditors and debtors of each other. Obviously, this talks about compensation. So, what is compensation? Compensation is the extinguishment of to the concurrent amount of the debts of two persons who, in their own right, are debtors and creditors of each other. Sabi dito, pag yung dalawang parties ay naging debtors and creditors ng bawat isa, note had to the concurrent amount of debts. Kapag sinabing concurrent amount, this means, it means that one debts is greater, if one debt is greater than the other, then the balance shall subsist o magpapatuloy. So meaning, compensation could be complete or could be also partial lang. And these two debts are extinguished without actual transfer of money between parties. It takes place by operations of law. For example, Layla owes Anya the amount of 1,000 pesos, and in the other transaction, Anya owes Layla the amount of 700 pesos. Suppose that both debts are due and payable today. Here, the compensation takes place immediately by operations of law. And it takes place partially. That is to the concurrent amount lang ng 700 pesos because nagkaroon nga ng compensation. So, Layla shall be still liable to Anya for only 300 pesos. Yung balance na lang. Had it been that the two debts ay same amount, then there is a total compensation. 1,000, 1,000, that is total compensation. Dahil 700 lang yung isa at yung isa ay 1,000 pesos, nagkaroon ng compensation sa 700 pesos amount, pero yung larger amount which is 1,000 pesos ay nagkaroon ng remaining balance that is 300 pesos. So, yung 300 pesos ay magsasubsist o magpapatuloy. So, simply say that Layla shall still be liable to Anya 300 pesos. Okay? Dito naman tayo sa distinction of compensation and confusion. In confusion, there is only one person and only one obligation. In the same obligation, that one person ay naging debtor and creditor ng sarili niya, kaya na-extinguish. Magbumuka naman tayong sira kung babayaran mo ang sarili mo, di ba? Dito naman sa compensation, there are two parties but that two parties ay naging debtor and creditor of each other dahil meron ding dalawang obligation, yun yung pinakaiba nila. Dito naman tayo sa distinction of payment and compensation. Sa payment, takes effect by act of parties, whereas sa compensation, takes effect by operations of law. Automatic siya, granting na lahat ng requisite para sa valid compensation ay present. Then, magkakaroon na ng compensation by operations of law. Another example, sa payment, the party must have free disposal of the thing due and capacity to alienate. That is requirement on payment, pero sa compensation, it is not required. Another distinction, in payment, it is necessary that it be complete. Pag hindi complete ay pwedeng tanggihan ni creditor, pero meron namang mga exception. Sa compensation naman, it is allowed, kagaya ng example kanina na 700 and 1,000 debts na nag-compensate. Nagkaroon ng remaining balance na 300 pesos na yun na lang ang utang na babayaran. Okay, next slide. Lipat na tayo sa kinds of compensation. Kinds of compensation, it is classified by its effect or extent and by its cause or origin. In the first classification, pwede siyang total, pwede ding partial. Sa total, for example, 1,000 tapos 1,000. Same amount siya dahil doon, entirely extinguish na yung obligation. Sa partial naman, pag di pareho, ma-extinguish lang yung maliit na amount pero yung mas malaking amount magkakaroon ng remaining balance. For example, 700 and 1,000. Ma-extinguish lang yung 700 pero yung 1,000 ay may remaining balance pa na 300 pesos. Dito naman sa second classification, pwede siyang legal, conventional, or voluntary, judicial, and facultative. When we say legal, it is when it take place by operation of law. Pag lahat ng requisite is present, yon. Sa voluntary naman, when it take place by agreed of the parties, and judicial when it take place by order from a court, and lastly facultative when it can be set up only by one of the parties. Okay, let's take an example. Laila owes Anya 10,000 pesos, demandable due on April 7, 2025. In another transaction, si Anya ay may utang din kay Layla na 10,000 pesos which is demandable on or before April 30, 2025. Noong April 7, 2020, si Anya, 2025, si Anya who is given the benefit of term. Yung kay Anya ay payable on or before April 30, 2025. So si Anya ay pwedeng mag-claim ng compensation dahil itong si Anya naman ay pwedeng pumili kung kailan niya babayaran on the set date which is on or before pa naman ng date na yon ng April 30. But in the case of Laila, he cannot claim compensation because he cannot force Anya to pay on December 15 kasi nga di pa naman due and demandable yung utang ni Anya at that time. Ito ay iba sa voluntary kasi ang facultative compensation ay unilateral. Unilateral, isa. Isang parties lang. When we say voluntary naman, yung voluntary nilang kinompensate ay mutual consent. Silang dalawa mismo ang nag-agree. Medyo mahaba pa ito, kaya dito na tayo sa next slide. Article 1279. In order that compensation may be proper, it is necessary, first, that each one of the obligor be bound principally and that he be at the same time a principal creditor of the other. Number two, that both debts consist in a sum of money, or if the thing due are consumable, they be of the same kind and also of the same quality if the latter has been stated. Number three, that the two debts be due liable. Number four, that they be liquidated and demand. Number five, lastly, that over neither of there be any retention or controversy recommenced by third person and communicated in due time to the debtor. This provision talks about legal compensation. Sabi, mawala man ang isa sa mga requirements na ito, no legal compensation may not take place. Dito tayo sa first requisite. Example, the parties are principally debtors and creditors of each other. Example, Ash owes Gon 100 pesos o 10,000 pesos. Then, ito namang si Gon ay may utang din kay Ash na 10,000 pesos din. Here, compensation will take place because Ash and Gon are principal debtors and creditors of each other. Now, give tayo ng situation which is hindi sila yung principal debtors and creditors of each other. Example, Ash owes Gon 10,000 pesos guaranteed by Goku. Goku is the guarantor of Ash. Ano nga ba itong guarantor? Guarantor ay yung nagiging liable sa utang ni principal debtor kapag nag-fail si principal debtor na mabayaran ng utang. Kumbaga, kapag nag-utang tayo sa microfinance, kailangan na meron tayong co-maker. Yun yung guarantor na sinasabi. Balik tayo dito sa situation. In another transaction, itong si Gon ay may utang din siya kay Goku na 10,000 pesos. In this example, there will be no compensation between Gon and Goku because kahit na si Gon ay principally liable to Goku, si Goku is subsidiarily liable to Gon. Wala naman talaga siyang utang kay Gon. Guarantor lang din naman siya si Goku ni Ash. At dahil hindi siya ang principal debtor and creditor of each other, no compensation will apply. Ito yung sinasabi sa first requirement or requisite. Dito tayo sa second requisite, that both debts consist in a sum of money, or if the things due are consumable, they be of the same kind and also of the same quality if the latter has been stated. Example, Luffy obliged himself to deliver to Layla 10 sacks of rice, and itong si Layla ay meron ding obligation kay Luffy to deliver a 10 sacks of corn. Here, there is no compensation dahil yung obligation nila ay consumable thing but not of the same kind and quality. Compensation will not take place kasi things do are not of the same kind. Kahit pa sabihin nating rice ang obligation lang dalawa, kung halimbawa itong si Layla ay may specific na variety ng rice na gusto at iba naman ang gustong i-deliver ni Luffy, liba na lang kung kay Luffy ay may specific variety pero yung kay Layla ay kahit anong variety lang, so yun, pwede yun. Let's proceed to the third requirement. The two debts are due or demandable. Sabi, yung debts daw ay due at the same time. Due means that periods are already arrived or the condition has been fulfilled. Nangyari na yung condition. Kapag sinabi namang demandable, it is in the sense that no obligation is invalid or illegal. So both are valid at the same time. It is demandable because yung condition ay nangyari na. Example, Layla owes Anya 10,000 pesos payable on April 25, 2025. Then Anya owes Layla 10,000 pesos because payable on April 30, 2025. There is no legal compensation on April 25 because one of the debt is not yet due kasi sa April 30 pa magiging due ang demandable due and demandable ang utang ni Anya kay Layla. So, wala pang legal compensation. Pero pwede namang magkaroon ng voluntary compensation kung napagkasunduan nilang dalawa. Another requisite, sabi dito, dapat yung debts daw ay liquidated. Kapag sinabing liquidated, yung amount is known kahit di pa alam, but can already be determined by simple computation. For example, Layla owes Anya 10,000 pesos and Anya owes Layla sa share ni Layla sa kanilang business. Yung amount na tinutukoy dito ay hindi pa ma-ascertained. So, hindi pa liquidated kung magkano ba ang share ni Layla sa business nila. So, compensation will not take place as the debt of Anya to Layla is not yet liquidated. If part of debt of Anya has been liquidated, compensation take place with respect to the part without waiting for the liquidation of the entire obligation. For the last requisite, sabi, neither of them or there be any retention or controversy commenced by third person and communicated in due time to the debtor. This is the negative requisite for legal compensation. Example, Gon owes Hawk 10,000 pesos and Hawk ay may utang din kay Gon na 10,000 pesos. Pero itong si Hawk ay may utang din kay Luffy na 10,000 pesos pala utang. So, yung credit has been garnished by Luffy who claims to be unpaid creditor. Ito pa lang si Luffy ay nag-file ng garnishment proceedings against sa credit ni Gon kay Hawk kasi may utang din si Hawk kay Gon na 10,000 pesos. In this case, compensation cannot take place between Gon and Hawk dahil mayroong controversy, which is the commenced by Luffy, o yun na yung commenced by Luffy, yung nag-file siya ng garnishment proceeding. So, in the meantime, the compensation is suspended. Now, if Luffy win, in the case, there is no compensation. But kung matalo siya, then meaning compensation deemed to have been taken or have taken place as of the day. The requisite for legal compensation concurrent as of the day. So, that's it. Yan na yung 5 requisite ng Article 1279. Thank you.
Magandang araw po. Okay, ako nga po pala si John Ray Igisi. Ngayon po, pag-uusapan natin ang Article 1280. Notwithstanding the provision of the preceding article, the guarantor may set up compensation as regards what the creditor may owe the principal debtor. So, ang sinasabi po dito ay yung compensation benefits the guarantor. So, although the guarantor is only subsidiarily, not principally bound, he is given the right to set up compensation. Yung reason po dito is that the extinguishment of the principle of obligation as a consequence of compensation carries with it the accessory obligations such as guarantee. So, the guarantor is given the right to set up compensation if ever. So, halimbawa dito, halimbawa po, okay, itong si Goku ay may utang kay Ana ng 10,000 at ang guarantor naman ni Goku ay si Ash. So, ngayon, si Ana ay may utang kay Goku ng 3,000. So, si Goku ay hindi makakabayad kay Ana. So, ang tanong, pagkano ang ibabayad ni Ash kay Ana? So, si Ash pwede siya mag-set up ng compensation. Like, total naman, may utang si Ana kay Goku ng 3,000. So, ibabawas ni guarantor o ni Ash yung 3,000 para magiging 7,000 na lang yung babayaran ni Ash kay Ana. So, ayun po ang sinasabi sa Article 1280.
Good day, ma'am. I am Leander Bilagisma. So, ito po yung report ko is Article 1281 to Article 1283. Compensation may be total or partial when the two debts are of the same amount. This is a total compensation. So, tinutukoy po dito is yung magiging kabayaran ng isang utang kapag kabuuan or kalahati pa lang. So, the compensation result is when yung dalawang utang are the same amount, so they compensate each other totally. Then, mawala yung obligation. Pero if hindi sila the same amount, so compensation is total as to smaller debts or utang and partial is to larger debts. Article 1282. The parties may agree upon the compensation of debts which are not yet due. Ito naman po yung pagsasang-ayon ng isang partido para dun sa babayaran nilang utang na kahit hindi pa naman dapat bayaran. So, this is a voluntary compensation and exception po ito siya sa general rule that only debts which are due and demandable can be compensated. So, the requisite po na under ng Article 1279, hindi siya ma-apply kasi itong compensation na ito po is has no special requisite. No, it is sufficient that the agreement of ng dalawang parties which declare compensation should be valid. So, hindi rin po siya necessary na mag-comply ng requirement dun sa Article 1279. So, sa Article 1283, if one of the parties to a suit over an obligation has a claim for damages against the other, the former may set it off by proving his right to said damages in the amount thereof. Ito naman po yung the obligation to the other party. By proving his right to the said damages in the amount thereof. All the requisite under Act 1279 must also be presented except that yung exemption lang daw po ay yung time for claiming kasi it's not yet liquidated. Kasi yung liquidation po is yun yung pag-determine ng amount and must be made ito in the proceedings or paglilitis. So, yun lang po. It is declared by final judgment dahil sa court proceed. Thank you po.
So, good day everyone. My name is Kalisang Giancarlo and this is my topic in our presentation, which is Article 1284. When one or both debts are rescissible or voidable, they may be compensated against each other before they are judicially rescinded or avoided. So, compensation of rescissible or voidable debts, same with rescissible or voidable contracts. They are valid until annulled. So, valid sila until rescinded or voided. So, yung compensation is allowed kasi that time, valid pa naman yung status nila. Pero, to avoid unfairness naman, if ever, yung rescission or annulment was later on decreed by the court after ng compensation, tapos na-declared na void yung debts or recessible, it has no compensation ever took place. So, meaning, yung decree of acts magiging retroactively. So, kahit walang nangyaring compensation, magiging liable pa rin yung debtor. So, let me see the example here. So, si Laila is may utang kay Anya na 10,000 pesos. And then, si Anya naman is may utang din kay Laila due to fraud. Dahil si Laila napasign niya ng promissory note si Anya that si Anya na may utang din sa kanya na 10,000 pesos but through fraud. So, in this case, yung utang ni Laila kay Anya is valid naman, pero yung utang ni Anya kay Laila is voidable. So, kasi kinuha niya yung consent niya through fraud. So, before ma-nullified yung utang ni Anya kay Laila, is valid pa yung utang both side. So, dahil valid pa yung utang ni Anya, both debts may be compensated. So, later on, si Anya is nag-file ng case kay Laila. Then, the court has annulled yung utang ni Anya. So, yung court is nag-favor kay Anya. So, manonolified yung utang ni Anya kay Laila. So, and then, ang magiging liable pa rin si Laila sa utang niya kasi siya naman talaga yung may utang.
So, good day everyone. My name is John Ray EGC. Now, let's talk about that Article 1285. The debtor who has consented to the assignment of his rights made by a creditor in favor of a third person cannot set up against the assignee the compensation which would pertain to him against the assigner, unless the assigner was notified by a creditor at the time he gave his consent that he reserved his right to the compensation. If the creditor communicated the cession to him, but the debtor did not consent thereto, the debtor may set up the compensation of debts previous to the session, but not of the subsequent ones. If the assignment is made without the knowledge of the debtor, he may set up the compensation of all credits prior to the same and also later ones until he had knowledge of the assignment. Where compensation has taken place before assignment, when compensation takes effect by operation of law or automatically, the debts are extinguished to the current amount. So, ang Article 12.5 na to ay mayroong tatlong senaryo. Una ay where the assignment is made with the consent of the debtor. Pangalawa, where the assignment is made without the consent but with the knowledge of the debtor. Pangatlo, where the assignment is without the knowledge of the debtor. So, unahin natin ang first part, where the assignment is made with the consent of the debtor. Composition cannot be set up because there is consent and so therefore a waiver of composition. Hindi ma-set up kasi composition hindi ma-set up si composition kasi it seems like there is my waiver kay debtor in the part of the debtor kasi may consent siya sa assignment. So, ayun. Except to the exception if the right to the compensation is reserved. Although may consent siya sa assignment pero gumawa naman ng reservation to his rights si debtor in case may compensation. Halimbawa dito, si Laila ay umutang kay Ana ng 10,000 pesos yesterday and si Ana ay umutang rin kay Laila ng 7,000 pesos yesterday also. So, yung debts ay pareho ng due human demandable. Supposedly, lahat ng requisites for legal composition are present. So, both debts are extinguished automatically up to the amount of 10,000 pesos. Since hindi pareho ang amount na nilang inutang, pero parehong day kung kailan nila inutang. So, ang utang na lang ni Laila kay Ana ay 3,000 pesos. So, if later on, si Ana ay nag-assign kay Ash to collect Laila sa natitirang balance. So, Ash can collect only the balance kasi nag-compensate na from Laila. So, however, ito yung assigned na credit na ginawa ni Ana in favor of Ash is with consent of Laila. So, ito yung tanong, how much can Ash collect from Laila? So, since may consent ni Laila, Ash can collect from Laila the whole amount of 10,000 pesos. Hindi pwedeng i-set up ni Laila ang difference ng compensation doon sa amount ng doon sa 7,000 pesos kasi dahil nabigyan siya ng consent doon sa assignment. So, nibigay siya ng consent without any reservation pero doon sa consent ni Laila, siya ay nakatanggap, she reserved the rights to the compensation, then she could have been Laila could only be forced to give the balance of 10,000 pesos kasi may reservation as to the compensation. Okay, ngayon dito naman tayo sa part 2 where the assignment is made without the consent but with the knowledge of the debtor. Compensation can be set up regarding debts previous to the assignment. So, dito naman yung compensation can be set up regarding debts previous to the assignment. So, okay. yung dibs maturating o matured na bago pa yung assignment o before pa yung notice or yung knowledge ng assignment. So example, si Ash ay may utang kay Mark ng 100,000 pesos due on December 1. At si Mark naman ay may utang din kay Ash ng 130,000 pesos due on December 5. Another transaction naman ulit kay Ash na nangutang naman siya kay Mark ng 30,000 pesos due on December 15. So, ito yung nangyari. Ash assigned his right to the another person on December 10. So, okay. Ash notified Mark, but Mark did not give his consent to the assignment. So, ito yung tanong, how much can another person collect from Mark? So Mark can set up the composition dips yung sa mga previous lang. He can set up as a ruling yung mga sinabi ko kanina. So composition can be set up regarding dips previous to the assignment lang. So since Mark can raise the difference of composition with respect dun sa December 5 na dips before the assignment na nangyari noong December 10. So now dun sa previously matured na yung utang since the other person can collect only 130,000 pesos kasi nga nagkaroon na ng compensation with respect to the 100,000 pesos. So but noong December 5, Mark cannot trace the difference of composition with respect to the dips of Ash noong December 15 kasi yun after na yun ay nag-matured na yung utang na nung assignment. Yun ay nag-matured na siya after na nung assignment. Yung tinutukoy doon yung utang. So, okay. When the law says the previous to the decision, actually it refers to the dips the nag-matured before yung assignment or yung decision. Yun lang pwedeng i-set up as for composition ng debtor. Okay. Okay, now dito na naman tayo sa part 3 where the assignment is without the knowledge of the debtor. Debtor can set up compensation as a defense for all debts maturing prior to his knowledge of the assignment. So, pag ganito raw, the debtor can set up compensation as a defense for all debts maturing prior to his knowledge of the assignment. So, whether the debts matured before or after the assignment, hindi siya factor. Yung crucial time here is the time of knowledge of the assignment, hindi yung time of assignment itself. Okay. Example. Gamitin pa rin natin yung same example nung second scenario. So let us suppose that nung December 10, yung assignment that was made noong December 10. So it was made without the knowledge of Mark, and nalaman na lang ni Mark ang assignment only on December 25. So in this case kasi ang crucial time is yung knowledge about the assignment at ang sabi it is the debtor can set composition as a defense for all the debts matured prior to his knowledge of the assignment. And since it'll December 25 panalaman ni Mark yung assignment, doon pa lang siya nagkaroon ng knowledge sa assignment at lahat ng obligation of can see na matured na. So, in this case, Mark can set up composition of credit sa lahat either before and after the assignment, pati yung December 15 kasi yung knowledge ay nagkaroon lang siya ng knowledge about the assignment by December 25. So, that's the article of 1285.
So let's proceed to Article 1286. Compensation takes place by operation of law even though the debts may be payable at different places, but there shall be an indemnity for expenses of exchange or transportation to the place of payment. So this article po applies to legal compensation. So indemnity for expenses, transportation, ito po yung when it applies to the transportation, goods, or object. Then, when we say indemnity for expenses of exchange naman, ito naman yung mga expenses for monetary exchange like if the debt is money. So, let's take a look the example here. So, as an example, si Goku is may utang na $10,000 kay Lopi, payable in the US. So, and then si Lope naman is may utang na 100,000 kay Goku, payable naman siya dito sa Pilipinas. So, if Goku claims compensation, he must pay for the expenses of exchange. So, in other words, whoever claims compensation, siya yung ang magbabayad for the exchange rate of currency or for the transportation. So, dito is si Goku yung magbabayad ng mga expenses like sa mga exchange rate. So pagpalitan ng mga currency sa pera. So that's it, the Article 1286.
Article 1287. Compensation shall not be proper when one of the debtors arise from depositum or from the obligation of a depositary or of bile of commodatum. Neither can compensation set up against a creditor who has claimed for support due by gratuitous title without prejudice to the provision of paragraph 2, article 301. Where one of the debtors arise from depositum, a deposit constituted from the moment person receive a thing belonging to another with the obligation of safety, keeping it and returning same. Article 1287 uses the word depositum instead of deposit, which is used for ordinary bank deposit. A bank deposit is not a depositum as defined above. It's really loan which creates the relationship of debtor and creditor. A bank failure to honor deposit money is failure to pay its obligation to debtor and not a breach of trust arising from depositary failure to return the thing deposit as a general rule. A bank has right of set of the deposit it is hand for the payment and indebtedness to it on the part of depositor. Similarly, the depositor has every right to set his money deposit in the bank against the loan of had obtained from signed bank. When what arise from depositum. Example, Goku deposit with Luffy 500 sack of rice value at 100,000 pesos. Tapos si Goku may utang kay Luffy na 1 million pesos. Goko withdraw. Nung withdraw na ni Goko ang 500 sack of rice from Luffy. Luffy refused to deliver. Ayaw ibigay na ni Luffy ang actually claiming compensation dahil may utang din si Goko sa kanya na 1 million pesos. Question. Luffy allowed to compensate obviously no, because this is an obligation arising from deposit or depositum. At ang sabi ni Article 1287, compensation shall not be proper when what arise from depositum. Another example, BCD Bank. Goko deposit his bank example, BCD Bank. Deposit 100,000 pesos pero nagkautang siya sa BCD Bank ng 10,000 pesos. Question, can the bank set up compensation of answer is yes. Deposit in bank are actually governed by contract loans because hindi yan contract of deposit. So don't be confused with a term your depositum in a contract of an bank deposit is actually the creditor and bank is actually the debtor. So the banker therefore can set up compensation when one that arise from comodatum. Comodatum is a purchase contract where one of the parties delivers to another something not consumable so that the latter may use the same for certain time and return it. Example, when what later arises from comodatum. Luffy borrowed the plane of us and let's say as may utang kay Luffy na 1 million pesos later on. Hindi pwede sabihin ni Luffy na hindi niya na ibabalik ang plane ni Ash dahil may utang din siya na 1 million pesos. No compensation can take place when one of the debts arise from comodatum. So the purpose of the law is actually prevent a breach of trust and burdens on the part of borrower to say same with the depositum. When the debt arise from for support due by the title. Example, Goko is a father of Anya, a minor who under the law is entitled to be supported by Goko. Now Anya owes Goko 50,000 pesos. Goko, her father, cannot compensate his obligation to support Anya by what Anya owed him because the right to receive support cannot be compensated. Hindi pwedeng sabihin ni Goko kay Anya na and is much of owe me 50,000 pesos. I will not to pay your allowance for 1 year. Article 1288. Neither shall there be compensation if one of the debtors contests the civil liability arising from penal offense. Example, Pogi owes Ganda 10,000 pesos. Tapos later on nag-away si Pogi at Ganda. At sa away nila, dahil magaling si Ganda, she has inflicted physical injuries against Pogi. Dahil diyan, Pogi filed a case against Ganda. And the court rendered judgment in favor of Pogi against Ganda and ordered Ganda to pay Pogi 10,000 pesos, applying the principle a person criminally liable is also civilly liable.
Magandang araw po ma'am, ako po si Christopher Timothy Fajardo. Ang aking report po is Article 1289 to Article 1290. Dito po sa Article 1289, If a person should have against him several debts which are susceptible of compensation, the rules on the application of payment shall apply to the order of the compensation. So dito po nagbigay ng cross-reference to application of payment. So yung rules on application of payment is also applicable sa compensation. Pag si debtor is maraming debts which are susceptible of compensation, so maraming debts, lahat po yun is pwedeng magkaroon ng legal compensation. So siya yung mamimili, he must inform the creditor sa alin doon sa mga debts na yun yung gagawin niyang object of compensation. And in case he fails, it also pwede rin si creditor through the receipt, at kung wala kay debtor, wala kay creditor, then ano yung rules? Demurs in the rules obligation. So yung unang is set off o i-compensate is yung demurs in the rules obligation. Halimbawa, si Yok is may utang kay Leila na 1,000 pesos without interest. Tapos due na siya ngayon. Tapos yung isang utang niya is 1,000 din. Tapos may interest siya na 6% and due na rin siya ngayon. Tapos itong si Leila is may utang rin kay Hook na 1,000 pesos. And ngayon din yung due niya. Then, walang nagbigay o nag-inform alin doon sa mga debts which are, diba, to debts or due, kung saan doon yung i-compensate sa utang ni Leila. Ang sabi, demurs in the rules obligation daw. So, yung dito sa example natin is yung second na utang na may 6% interest. Yun yung i-compensate. Ang naiwan na lang na utang is yung 1,000 pesos. Yun lang po yung ibig sabihin ng Article 1289. Dito naman po sa Article 1290, when all the requisite mentioned in Article 1279 are present, compensation take effect by operation of law and distinguishes both debts to the concurrent amount even to the creditor and debtors are not aware of the compensation. Okay, legal compensation take place by operation of law. Ito po is nangyayari automatically sa pamamagitan ng operation from the moment all the requisite mentioned in Article 1279 are present. Kapag naroon na lahat ng condition, ang legal compensation is nagaganap kahit pa walang kasunduan o pagpayag between the parties, and even if it is against their will. It distinguishes doon sa mga utang na magkakasabay as soon as the excess simultaneously. Sabi niya, distinguishes both debts to the concurrent amount. Now, yung concurrent amount, it means na ang isang debt is mas malaki kaysa sa isa. So, mayroong siyang balance and debts balance will subsist. Ulitin ko lang po, yung compensation is hindi na nangangailangan ng anumang aksyon o pagpayag mula doon sa mga parties. Ito is nagaganap automatically sa pamamagitan ng operation of law.
That would be all. Thank you po for watching.